Well, we are in a very complicated situation. Basically, the IDF destroyed most of Hamas military capability. The remaining main forces are in Rafah, the Rafah brigade. We assume that the leadership of Hamas is there, many of the hostages, and the IDF is moving step by step, taking control of Rafah. Yesterday, the IDF said that out of the 4 battalions, it destroyed 2, and the other 2 are also pretty damaged. So the estimate is that within a few weeks, the Rafah brigade will be destroyed. Now, the IDF basically destroyed all production capabilities of Hamas inside Gaza, and also by controlling the Egyptian border on the Gaza side, are able to prevent the oxygen of Hamas, which is basically bringing munitions and capabilities from the Sinai Peninsula into Gaza. So it seems that we are reaching a point where Hamas will be destroyed as a military entity. The big question is, are we going to reach the leadership? When is it going to happen? And the biggest question of all is Lebanon. What is going to happen in Lebanon? We cannot live in a reality where 80,000 Israelis are displaced. The north is really in a terrible situation. And it seems very hard to see a diplomatic solution that will bring Hezbollah to withdraw from South Lebanon according to Resolution 1701. Basically, we had a tragic event where 8 combat engineers, soldiers, in one APC that was full of explosives. They were on their way to destroy a tunnel. This APC was hit by an anti-tank missile, and the explosion was huge because of the amount of explosives inside the APC. So it ended tragically with all 8 soldiers dead. But when I look at the big picture, the overall maneuver that the IDF has been doing in the last 8 months in Gaza, amid thousands and thousands of anti-tank missiles that were shot on tanks and APCs, there are maybe 4 or 5 events where this actually did meaningful damage. It means that really the technologies that are installed on the armored forces of Israel and the ability to fight are overall very, very good. Yes, it's a war. Yes, there will be casualties. But overall, I think that the IDF is operating in a very good way that eventually will bring the destruction of Hamas. Definitely, Hamas leadership is on the run, hiding in tunnels. I would assume that reaching the leadership will be mainly based on human intelligence. I think that there is a price, by the way, on the head of Sinwar. And I think there will be a moment where people in the Palestinian society in Gaza will say, that's it. These guys have brought nothing but misery to Gaza, and will be willing to hand them to Israel. I think that closing on Rafah has a big chance on really shortening this timetable, but it's crucial to really deal with the leadership of Hamas. The Israeli soldiers I've encountered in Gaza was pretty shocking. Almost every single house in Gaza is connected to terror, whether it's to terror infrastructure, meaning it's connected to tunnels. What impressed me is that it took minutes to the tanks and APCs to reach the point. And this means that the IDF is enjoying a real freedom of operation in really big areas in Gaza. You could not pull a rescue like that if the armored forces could not reach fast the location. Once the exchange of fire started, the key issue was, how do you bring the infantry and the tanks fast to deal with this fire and enable the special units to go out with the hostages and rescue them. So this is very, very connected. In order to really be able to do such an operation, you need to be very close to the area. You have to be overall in control of the area around this neighborhood. And you have to really be able to bring the forces that are supposed to defend the Special Operations Unit and the hostages once they extract them from the house.
Thanks to the excellent ground troops that we have inside Gaza Strip, our landing and our loading of the 3 hostages lasted less than 1 minute. Well, when I first saw the 3 hostages, Shlomi, Almog, and Andre, walking in the helicopter, I felt relief and happiness that surrounded the whole team, the whole helicopter team that were in this mission.
Hezbollah, from the 7th of October until now, is operating along a really defined area. It hasn't enlarged dramatically the area where it should. But the strategic situation overall is that Israel is in a reality where 8 months Israeli citizens are out of their homes, in hotels, dispersed all over Israel. Their businesses are not working. People bought houses. They are paying mortgages, which they cannot afford because the houses are empty. Families are falling apart, living a whole family with children in one room in an hotel. This is not a reality Israel can continue with. And really, there are 2 options. It's either a diplomatic solution that will get Hezbollah to withdraw out of South Lebanon. It's very hard to see such an event happening, or full-scale war. And I am assuming, looking at the reality as it is now, that the cabinet will have to take a decision in the coming weeks to change completely the situation in the north, and that you cannot do this change without a full-scale war and a ground incursion into South Lebanon to destroy Hezbollah in South Lebanon and really create the environment needed to bring back the citizens. The citizens are saying clear-cut, we are not coming back. If we have Nukhba on steroids in the form of Radwan forces on our borders, we are not going to live a scenario like the South on the 7th of October. People understand very clearly now the danger. It was there before, but now they saw it with their eyes. They saw what it means. Force like that wading into the towns. So I think we are in a very, very, very defining moment. And unfortunately, without American leadership, without willingness to use force, without threatening Iran and Hezbollah, America is leaving Israel no choice but to go to war and fight and restore security to the north. Israel has been hitting Hezbollah 8 months. The situation in the south of Lebanon doesn't look anything like it was 8 months ago. Many of the Hezbollah units have retreated around 10, 12 kilometers north. The chain of command of Hezbollah in South Lebanon has been hit severely. Hezbollah doesn't have at present a lot of capabilities to attack on the ground. Israel, as it was 8 months ago. Yes, they will be shooting to Tel Aviv. Yes, it's going to be hard, but we need to win this war. I mean, if we don't do that, we are going to lose all the north of Israel. We cannot afford that. So we understand the challenge, and it's not a small challenge, but also Lebanon needs to understand the price for forcing Israel to go to a war and willing to be under control of Hezbollah. And I think that this is going to be devastating for Lebanon.